Hello YouTube, it's me, Godzilla, back with another gaming review. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Now, I alluded to this game when I reviewed Doom, I think. Was it Doom? From Bethesda? Yeah. This is another Bethesda shoot-'em-up game that thinks it's metal. Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. Yeah, it starts with a recap of the last game, which is nice because I didn't play the last game. And it makes... Apparently in the last game there was a part where you had to choose which person you wanted to get executed in this sadistic ritual. And I just picked a random one because I didn't play the last game, so I wasn't continuing a specific timeline. But yeah, you pick your fucking timeline, and then you have to watch you have to like participate in memories of your abusive dad. And he wants you to like kill your dog to make you tough. I chose not to kill the dog. You can, like, shoot the gun away from the dog. But, I mean, then your dad kills the dog anyway, and you gotta shoot Nazi dogs later, so, I mean, you might as well just shoot the fucking dog, honestly. Then your dad might beat you less. So, yeah, all the flashbacks to the main character's family life are really fucking depressing. And to make it more depressing, when you actually start the game, you know, in the present, you're in a fucking wheelchair. You can't walk. So you have to wheelchair around this fucking U-boat submarine, which isn't handicap accessible, but somehow you make your way around it anyways. And you might be thinking, oh no, it might be handicap accessible. No, it was a U-boat made by Nazis. The Nazis just shoot handicapped people in the head. So, you know. You can walk after you get this battle armor, but apparently it belongs to someone from the previous game, one of your team members. And spoiler alert, she dies very early on in this game, so that you can get that armor, which also, you know, gives you like a radiation thing and lets you do this smash move. Which you don't need the smash move much after you lose the suit, but you can still use it after you lose the suit, which is weird because you lost the suit, and there is a way to explain it with like this superhuman body thing, but it was a little weird. It was just a little weird. You know? And then, once you get her armor, you talk to her ghost for the rest of the game like a psycho, and you say the weirdest things. The main character's just really not likable. He's really creepy. And even worse, his dialogue's clunky. Not just his dialogue, really everyone's is. It's like they wanted gameplay like Doom, and the gameplay really does feel like their Doom game. Almost a little too much. But at the same time, they tried to give it this story, and it just didn't work. So it's like they half tried. And then you like rescue these other resistance fighters from New York at one point, and they talk with like 70s lingo, even though the culture that created that lingo would never have existed in this alternate reality. And New York was a maze, and really lots of places in this game are just straight up hard to navigate, and it's frustrating. You'll get stuck in some places easily, and then you'll try to use the objective thing, and it'll often show you where to go. But sometimes it just straight up doesn't work, or you're far enough from it where it won't matter. So it's like, I don't know, it just didn't seem to work that well. Also, your character seems kind of dumb. Like, for example, he has to run back and forth between a battery in one, like, little mini-quest thing while you're on your U-boat, right? While you're on the submarine. He runs back and forth between a battery and a charging station to charge a battery, instead of just taking the battery to the charger. That's so stupid. And also, the writers, like, want us to care about the characters in this game, and they aren't really likable. And then, but there are some characters that were kind of likable, like the scientist, and the game largely ignores them, and then it makes it seem like there was this one part of this machine that Terror Billy, your main character, gave to the doc, and it acted like it was going to be important, and then it never came to anything. It just never did anything. The graphics are good for the most part, but in some of the cutscenes, you know, some faces are wonky, and then there's one part with the baby, and the baby, honest to God, moves like the worst animated thing in the world, because I guess they couldn't motion cap a baby or something, and they maybe whoever was programming this didn't know how babies move because they were a loser version or something, but the baby moved in a very creepy way, and I don't even want to think about it. But yeah, the characters weren't great, and the main character is a cliche, with dumb 80s action lines that nobody likes. And the thing is, a friend told me that if I wanted to get some games that were pretty much all shoot 'em up with no real story, he told me to get Doom, and he told me to get Wolfenstein 2: The New Colossus. And he was right about Doom. Doom has basically no story, but it realizes it has no story. It's just about fucking shooting demons while metal music plays. That's all it's fucking about. But with this game, it actually has a bunch of story and some very long cutscenes, and I didn't like the story. And you might be thinking, oh, Godzilla, you didn't play the first one, so you just didn't understand the story. No, I completely understood it, because it was very simplistic. You know, there were no, like, big twists, there were no big character reveals. It was just kind of going through the motions, story-wise, for the most part. Like, the stories seem to be like a means to the end for the action, to just give you excuses. But does anyone really need an excuse to kill Nazis? They're fucking Nazis, dude. Killing Nazis will never not be fun. Everyone loves killing Nazis. Unless maybe you're like a Republican or something. Which is oddly, ironic, because Republicans fucking love killing shit. Seriously though, it's nice to see something in the modern day that is 100% willing to say Nazis are evil, and the cherry on top is that it also portrays conspiracy theorists as nutjobs, which is great. I really liked that, actually. It was pretty rad. I think when this game came out, there were actually a bunch of alt-right people that for real protested against it because you kill Nazis. Like, I'm pretty sure that happened in real life. That was definitely for some Wolfenstein game, and I'm pretty sure it was this one. I want to mention this train hijacking level, where I'm sure you guessed you have to hijack a train, and it introduces these cool Terminator robots, except instead of killing John Connor, they just kill Jews. As it turns out, if Nazis would have won World War II, we would have a colony on Venus. There's actually a part of the game where you go to Venus. I shit you not. You go to Venus, see Hitler, don't kill him, and then you can play that entire level without killing Hitler. Without even encountering him while doing actual gameplay, just mostly in a cutscene that has some interactions. But I hear you can kill Hitler if you, like, go the right way or something, but I didn't even see him while I was running around shooting stuff up. So, I mean, it's Hitler. He was in a cutscene that felt like it lasted an hour. And it did kind of make Hitler out to be a buffoon. And I didn't need to watch Hitler take a piss on the floor or any of the other stuff he did in that cutscene. But I mean, if you're gonna show us Hitler for that long, you should make killing him a certainty. Killing Hitler should have been something you had to do to beat that level. And it should have been something that wasn't like an out-of-the-way side quest. You should have been able to kill Hitler at the end of that level, and that's... like... you can't show us Hitler that much in a Nazi game and not let us kill him, man. It needs to be something that's easily done. Also, shout out to the Daydream level, because it was really, really cool. It was really awesome, and I thought it was one of the most fun levels to play. The game also seems to get cooler after that point too. Like after the Daydream level and the execution, the game really takes it up a notch, and it felt really rad. You know, they even set up for the one real twist. You know, there were I said earlier that there weren't really any twists, and that wasn't completely true. They just weren't that good. They just didn't matter. Like one twist I completely called, and then the other one I didn't recognize until like right before they revealed it. And that had to do with your head. But the first one with the Daydream sequence, I did call that level was actually a daydream and not, in fact, what was happening. And then after you get your leg functionality back, I don't want to completely reveal why, but you do get your leg functionality back after you lose the suit. You can choose from either a cool ramming gear that allows you to like ram into stuff and etc. A chest compressor that allows you to like squeeze in the tight spaces and crawl under vehicles and stuff, but if you use it too long you'll suffocate. Or you can get this cool stilts thing. I chose the stilts thing so you can get up to upper levels and stuff. And I got the chest compressor later. It's a FTMCD's wet dream. So, you know, it worked out pretty well when I needed it to. You choose one and then you don't get the other two, but you can get them in side quests later. And even if you don't get them in the side quests, like, immediately after the game, it pretty much just gave me the chest compressor. So, congrats! It doesn't really matter what you choose, because you can get them all. Another weird thing is that your girlfriend is pregnant with twins for the entirety of this game, which is fine, and it's actually kind of empowering, because she does all these stunts and stuff, but that's also what's kind of weird. They let her go into firefights with bombs and blasts, and I think she even drank alcohol some while she was very pregnant in one part of the game. And, like, she should have miscarried. She really, really should have miscarried. Holy shit. There was this one part at the end of the game where she did this slide that would have been impossible for a pregnant woman to do, especially a pregnant woman with twins. Threw a grenade, did all this shooting, and it was kinda rad. Like, it was actually really rad. But at the same time, all I could think about was how that would have made her babies die. The ending is also a little anticlimactic, because it's just this epilogue level where you kind of have to sneak onto a live TV set, and then you kill the general lady that's been the big bad for the whole game. And I feel like maybe she should have had some cool monologue before you killed her, or maybe it should have been a big boss fight or something. I mean, it makes... like, she shoots at you, but it's almost not really possible to lose that level unless you literally just stand there and let her take your health all the way down. But it just felt a little anticlimactic, because she didn't really get this whole final thing. But it did resolve the ring subplot, which I had totally forgotten about by the time we got around to it, because the three parts of it that you see are only in like the first half of the game, 2 or 3 parts, and then in like the post-credits sequence it shows it again. It shows the resolution to the ring subplot in the freaking post-credits. Like, what the hell, dude? That's fucking... everyone who was playing the game forgot about the ring before that. For sure. The ending might be anticlimactic, but there is a post-game, so you can continue playing it. And I actually really like how they did the post-game, because throughout the game you collect Enigma codes, and I actually collected every single Enigma code that you could. I got all the Enigma codes, and then you take the Enigma codes, right? You take the Enigma codes to this machine, you decode them, and then it unlocks levels where you just shoot a bunch of Nazis and then have to kill a Nazi commander. Dude. That's all. Uber Commando. Just blow their brains out. That's all you have to do. So it's just shoot them up, you know. That's all it is. Afterwards, it's no real story, because you, like, use that television execution of the big Nazi general to, like, incite people to your cause. So America is, like, rebelling, but the game doesn't end with, like, Nazis being destroyed, because if there's one thing I've learned in the last 3 years, it's that Nazis are going to be around forever. But, I mean, I played one of the post-game levels before this review. In fact, I just beat the game right before filming this review. I've been taking all the notes about it as I play it. Which is just, that's what I do when I play games now, is just take notes about them so I can review them for you guys. Really taking half the fun out of it, but fuck it. So final thoughts on Bethesda's Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus for Nintendo Switch. I mean, it's fun. It's a fun game. The gameplay's good. You know, it's smooth. It's just hard to figure out how to get places in the game sometimes. I like all the weapons. Killing Nazis is fun. Nazi robots, Nazi dogs, Nazi robot dogs. it's all great. You know, there's mechs in there. It's a cool world, other than the fact that Nazis rule everything. And it's fun to play. Killing Nazis will always be fun to play. Wolfenstein is a classic game brand. Old and new gamers can enjoy Wolfenstein. If you're looking for something with a good story, look elsewhere, because the story isn't very good. It's pretty simplistic. There's only really a couple good parts to the story. And it takes a lot of time. The story takes a lot of time. But you can beat the game relatively quickly. It took me a few days, but I only play a game for like 2 hours at a time max. I don't play games for like 6 hours straight. I just can't do it. I can't focus that long because I'm dumb. But that's it. Thank you all very much for your support. Remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. Check out all the cool links in the description below. Facebook, Twitter, etc. You can probably get Wolfenstein 2 wherever games are sold. I got mine just digital download from the Nintendo eShop, so that's whatever. If you want to support our Tokusatsu miniseries, that's an homage to Godzilla, Power Rangers, Kamen Rider, Ultraman, and things like that. You can support it in the Indiegogo below, or if you'd rather support us a different way, there's also a Patreon. We've got links to Facebook, Twitter, etc. and whatnot. So that's it. Thank you all once again, and I'll see y'all bitches later.